So I think a lot of this Kyrie stuff, I get it, but your takeaway is LeBron's new legacy is this happens for a second, third time.
I mean, Colin, look what happened when he left Cleveland the first time. Do you remember? 4 straight years, no playoffs. Back to the basement. He goes to Miami. They have a great run. Oh, yeah, he left. And what happened in the last 3 years? 2 times they missed the playoffs. This is LeBron's problem. And I actually think this is LeBron's fault, what's going down in Cleveland now. I know that you're Mr. LeBron and, you have a national voice that kind of sets the agenda on LeBron sometimes. But, Colin, I think you're missing the boat here. LeBron set the team up in his image. We're going to win immediately. Give me Kevin Love. Forget Andrew Wiggins. And guess what? Their future is ugly. And Kyrie Irving sees that and says, man, everywhere LeBron leaves, it's destitute. They're not doing anything. They're not going to the playoffs. Do I want to enter my prime if I'm Kyrie Irving? He's 25, averaged 25 points a game. This guy shot 40% from 3. He's a great player. And he's going to be stuck in Cleveland with a geriatric bench, bunch of guys over 33 years old, Tristan Thompson on a bad contract, J.R. Smith on a bad contract. If you're Kyrie Irving, why would you stay? Give me one reason why you would stay.
I have the best basketball player in the world next to me, and he probably isn't leaving unless I leave.
Well, wait a sec. Probably isn't leaving. I mean, the worst kept secret in the league is that he's going to the Lakers, right?
Well,
that's what everybody says. That's the speculation. And if he were staying, don't you think Carmelo would rather be in Cleveland? Don't you think Jimmy Butler would have tried to get to Cleveland? Don't you think Chauncey Billups would have been the GM? I mean, all signs are pointing to nobody wants to go there because everybody knows LeBron's leaving. So that's why I'm blaming LeBron for this.
What is the best destination, in your opinion, where Kyrie lands?
Oh, boy.
Now, remember, this would be Cleveland trading him.
Yeah. You like the Knicks, right? You like the idea of Kyrie with the Knicks. I think that'd be great.
I think Porzingis and Kyrie is actually, in the East, is second to Boston.
Okay, but if you're Cleveland, where's the win there? You get Carmelo Anthony. I don't know what he does, and now who's your point guard? Darren Williams? I mean, I don't even know that that's beating the Celtics in the East. Seriously. So I actually believe, and I know Boston fans are killing me on social media this morning, I believe if you dealt Kyrie Irving to the Celtics in exchange for Isaiah Thomas, who, by the way, is going to want a max deal after this year, remember?
Kyrie's a better player. And
he's 4 years younger. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is going to want $30 million after this year. If you're Boston, you don't have to worry about that. And if you're Cleveland, you take Isaiah for a year, maybe you get back to the finals, and then you just say, bye, Isaiah, I'm not paying you $30 million. So you don't have bad contracts on the books. You obviously have to, if you're Cleveland, get that number 1 pick that the Nets have, right? The Nets have a top 5 pick. The Celtics own it. If the Cavs can pry that away from Boston, I think you got a good deal there, don't you? And you toss in Jay Crowder to make the salaries match
if
up.
I got a number 1 pick, I don't, because I don't want to pay Isaiah Thomas. I would say this. If the Boston Celtics got Kyrie Irving with Gordon Hayward,
they're better than the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is Kyrie Irving has a history of playing well against Steph Curry.
He does.
If you get to the finals, Kyrie, for all his faults, and I think he's chronically hurt, I think he's immature, I don't think he defends, and he doesn't make others better, Kyrie plays Steph very well.
Well, you make a great point about Kyrie kind of, being a little selfish, and does he make others better? But LeBron has the ball in his hands most of the time, right, in Cleveland? I mean, he had more assists per game than Kyrie. If I'm Kyrie, though, I just look at the lineup and say, I can't win with this next year. I can't win with this 2 years from now. So why would I stay? And I would really force Dan Gilbert to say, hey, LeBron, we need an answer from you, or we might want to trade you. I know he has a no trade, but I would put it to LeBron that way. He's holding the franchise hostage. Is he not?
Yeah, it's funny. I think when you're an organization like Cleveland, it's like the Buffalo Bills. If you can get a championship, like all these teams are not equal. There are certain teams like New England or San Antonio which have titles and leverage, and they won't sell their soul for a player. I think Cleveland, the Cavaliers, are an organization. I don't think Dan Gilbert was wrong selling his soul to LeBron for the second run.
Okay, for 4 years, right? Miami did that essentially for LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, right? They had a great trio, 4-year run, 2 titles. But again, Miami, it's a little easier to recruit free agents when you got Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and South Beach. What's the sell when you're trying to get free agents to Cleveland? And remember, Miami signed Dion Waiters and James Johnson and Kelly Olynyk. That's who they're settling for in the post-LeBron era. What are the Cavs getting, Colin?
Can I go back and we'll button this up? I started this hour very quickly with some thoughts on Ole Miss, where they bought into a Bible salesman, and in the end, it was a con. And anytime anybody brings up verses ad nauseum, I'm always, if you want to be religious, I'm not anti-anything. Don't advertise it constantly. You start the oversell. I'm always skeptical. And they got burned, and they defended him, and they got reeled in and burned. Here's the funny thing, and you wrote an article this past week on this. You start looking at the SEC. Ole Miss is going to go on probation.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Take Nick Saban out of the conference. They're going to win it again. It's not competitive. He is by far and away. When you look at the SEC right now, let's say a great job came open in America. Ohio State. Name a single SEC coach that would get an interview.
I don't think Jim McElwain would.
Nobody. If Alabama was open, Harbaugh would get an interview.
Well, Dabo Sweeney's supposed to be the heir apparent.
But, I mean, Harbaugh would get a call.
Oh, certainly.
Urban would get a call. James Franklin, who was at Vandy, would get a call.
Would they call Kevin Sumlin? I don't think so. He's on the hot seat at Texas A&M.
So your takeaway is, I think what mine is with the SEC, they got a coaching problem.
They have significant problems. So the best quarterbacks in the country are in the Pac-12,
no
right?
question.
Darnold and Rosen. The best teams, I argue, are in the ACC. Clemson, defending champs. FSU's very good. Louisville with Lamar Jackson's going to be excellent. And the best coaches are in the Big Ten. And it's not even close.
Not even close.
Urban, Harbaugh, Mark D'Antonio.
Lovie Smith and Harbaugh have both been to Super Bowls.
That's a great point. And the SEC has what? Dan Mullen, is he that good of a coach? He could be out at Mississippi State this year if things don't fall his way.
It's really funny. The South tends to be a little more insular as a region. And so they hire themselves.
Yes. Kirby Smart, right, left Georgia, right?
Muschamp.
Yeah, Muschamp. I mean,
they hire themselves. The SEC has an issue here. If you take out Alabama, you are left with B and C coaches, really talented rosters, and the NFL will draft players. They do not have a single team this year that
Colin,
is national championship quality outside of Bama.
I think it was 2 years ago. You made a great point that Nick Saban was killing the SEC. And here we are 2 years later. When was the last time the SEC had a quarterback drafted in the first round? Johnny Football. That's how far back you have to go. They don't have quarterbacks. They don't have top 10 teams. I really think the SEC is in significant trouble this year, Colin.
I do, too. In fact, I read a magazine yesterday, Jason McIntyre, BigLead.com, that, and it was interesting. I've read two magazines that have come out with preseason hype and predictions. Both had the Big Ten number one.
Yeah, wow.
And think 6-7 years ago, how dead the conference was. The reason the Big Ten is good now is not because there's more recruits in the Midwest. They spent $3 and $4 and $5 million a year for coaches. So anytime anybody complains about what college football coaches make.
But your argument is always college basketball and football are about the coaches, not the players.
I don't want to hear that Nick Saban makes too much. The Big Ten was dead 6 years ago. And then they paid Harbaugh $7 million, Urban $6, Franklin $4, men who can recruit nationally, and the conference now. I'm telling you, who is the fifth best team in the Big Ten? I would argue it's Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin, yeah.
And I have Wisconsin as the 10th best team in the country. Their defense is juniors and seniors.
And Penn State just went to the Rose Bowl. Okay, they would probably be the second best team.
Oh, they would be.
In the SEC.